Welcome to the Line Life podcast. I'm Jeff Postlethwaite, Senior Editor of T&D World, and today we're bringing you more stories of the grit, courage, and inspirational teamwork that it takes to be a line worker.
Hi, this is Amy Fishbach, Field Editor for T&D World magazine. For this episode in our In Case You Missed It series, we are featuring the second article that was in our December 2024 print issue that celebrates the International Lineman's Rodeo. This article is titled Lineman's Rodeo Week Connects the Competitors. It was written and is narrated by me, Amy Fishbach. Lineman's Rodeo Week connects the competitors. Line workers and their families come together to learn about safety, swap shirts, and explore the Expo. For the line trade, it's all about keeping the lights and power on for customers. For one special week each year, however, line workers and their loved ones travel to Kansas City for the Lineman's Rodeo. The event celebrated its 40th year in 2024 with line apprentices and journeyman line workers from all over North America and supporters from around the world. To get the Lineman's Rodeo Week off to a safe start, the International Lineman's Rodeo Association, or ILRA, partnered with its sponsors, Honeywell Salisbury, NECA, Tempest Energy, and IBEW Local 47 and 66 to present a 1.5-day safety and training conference at the Overland Park Convention Center. Hopefully these 2 days will help you guys and gals to be safer on the job, Shad Chimp said, a journeyman line worker for Ameren, Illinois, who led this year's safety conference after sharing his personal injury story 2 years ago. That's what the safety conference is all about. About 300 people registered for the conference, which was a good turnout for the 40th anniversary of the Lineman's Rodeo, says Rustin Owen, a member of the ILRA Safety and Training Committee and Safety Observer at the International Lineman's Rodeo. Along with line apprentices, journeyman line workers, and supervisors, students from Metropolitan Community College, Kansas City, actively participated in the safety discussions. Owen says it's very important for students to attend and learn more for their future careers in the line trade. It also reinforces the importance of safety, not just in the classroom, but also when they move out into the field and start their apprenticeship programs. Owen, who helped to start the U.S. Army Prime Power Training School for line workers at Fort Leonard Wood in Missouri, says he appreciated having several journeyman line workers from the 249th Engineer Battalion in attendance. I work very hard to build that school for the Army linemen, and seeing the teams grow to this amount has been great, he said. It's almost like having a legacy that you get to see grow every year. It's very important to me, and I love to see them in the safety conference to press that on. Protecting workers. This year, the conference focused on everything from proper hydration and heat exhaustion to situational awareness and personal protective equipment. Because line workers often work outside in extreme temperatures, they can often get prolonged exposure to heat. The attendees learned how to protect themselves against the dangers of dehydration by listening to the keynote presentation by Dylan Koch from The Working Athlete. Koch told the line workers that to keep their bodies in proper working order, they must first focus on proper hydration. The most important piece of equipment you own is your body, Koch stressed during his presentation. We can have the best fall protection, hard hats, and PPE, but if your body shuts down, none of the other stuff matters at the end of the day. To further safeguard line workers from heat-related injuries, illnesses, and fatalities, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, proposed a standard which at press time was open for public comments. Throughout many of the presentations, the speakers discussed possible future changes to safety practices due to this standard, Owen says. This year, we're focusing on some of the new regulations with OSHA and heat stress and things of that nature, Owen said. We've had people come in and talk about hydration, how important it is, and the fabrics that are going with it. For example, Brad Sipe from Lakeland Industries described moisture-wicking FR fabrics and their role with heat and cold stress. He also emphasized the importance of proper laying of FR clothing for maximum comfort and protection. The conference not only educated the attendees about PPE, but also situational awareness. For example, Ryan Carney from Critical Incident Preparedness Systems, LLC, and Chris Gandia from Strategic Training and Response Systems, LLC, taught the line workers how to recognize rage and aggression from angry customers or bystanders. To drive this point home, they also engaged in a demonstration on stage on what to do if a possible assailant has a weapon, such as a knife or a gun. This discussion about public safety continued with a presentation by Endeavour Energy's Riley Bryn, who traveled from Sydney, Australia to Kansas City to share his story. I've been in the industry for 22 years, and this has always been something on my bucket list to come and see the rodeo and how you guys do it over here, Bryn says. I'm keen to explore different contacts and collaborate with different utilities. We have a growing population in Australia and a lot of infrastructure development, and I'm sure we can learn a lot from each other. During his presentation, he talked about damage prevention and public safety and how different line workers interact with their power lines. There's a lot of situational awareness that needs to be thought out, planned for, and prepared for on work sites, Bryn says. On the first day of the conference, the attendees also learned about crew leadership from Eric Kapitulik from the program Leadership. Before his presentation, he shared his thoughts about what makes a good leader. Just because you are a lineman doesn't mean you're a great supervisor of linemen, he said. We have to develop our people. Most organizations do a great job of developing technical skills, but we also need to develop leadership skills too. During the second day of the conference, line workers once again had the opportunity to hear a personal injury story, this time from Josh Simpson from Ameren, Illinois. Mike Starner from the National Electrical Contractors Association also explored the progression of safety from the past to the present to the future, and Deb Short from Ameren, Illinois rounded out the 2024 conference with her session, The Keys to Longevity. Exploring the Expo. Following the morning safety conference, hundreds of conference attendees rode the escalator up to the second floor where they lined up for the 2024 International Linemen's Expo. They formed 3 lines to enter the doors of the exhibit hall, where they could participate in raffle drawings, test out tools and technologies, and pick up giveaways to bring home. Scott Woodruff, apprentice line worker for Eversource Energy, says his company brought out 2 journeyman teams and 3 apprentices from Connecticut. After competing in the regional Connecticut Rodeo for 2 years, he says 2024 was the first time he competed at the International Lineman's Rodeo. I thought I had the best job in the world until I became a power company lineman, and then I realized I now have the best job, Woodruff says, who worked for a utility company for 22 years before switching over to a power company. At times you get to travel out of your area to do mutual aid for other people, but mostly it's that I enjoy the work and the people that I work with. The Lineman's Expo, which featured a record-setting 202 exhibitors, including 50 who are new to Rodeo Week, connects the manufacturers with the field users. This experience empowers the line workers to voice their opinions about what they like or want to change about certain products. It's good to speak with the companies who make the tools that you actually use out there and to see what's coming out next, Woodruff said. We don't know how good we got it or don't have it till the next thing comes out. Line workers could not only explore the show floor during the expo in the exhibit hall, but they could also talk with exhibitors on the rodeo grounds. One of those outside exhibitors, Simple Strap, enjoyed being part of Rodeo Week. It's one of those things that once you learn what the linemen do, keeping the energy on, they are invaluable to America, said Ben Comer, co-founder and co-inventor of Simple Strap. Trading shirts and stories. After 3 days of education and exploring the trade show floor, the attendees geared up for one of the biggest nights of the year for the line trade, other than the awards banquet, Trade Night. They stuffed duffel bags with shirts and slung them over their shoulders as they walked in to set up their merchandise on the long tables, which stretched from one side of the floor to the other. This year, many of the shirts featured patriotic and line worker themed designs, and each one had a unique color scheme and story behind it. For example, Tom Jeffers, a journeyman line worker for Swellcat, says they work in the Arizona desert with a lot of rattlesnakes and they hot stick most of their primary. I got the concept of a guy up on a nice Arizona morning, rattlesnake on the pole and a stick on the center face, he says. It's an inspiration from the AC/DC song, Inject the Venom. Mass Electric, which sponsored the registration at the International Lineman's Rodeo Week, made a limited edition run of 200 of its black long-sleeve shirts, which featured a glowing blue design. Meanwhile, Chris Kelly, a journeyman line worker for San Diego Gas and Electric, or SDG&E, and IBEW Local 469, was trading his company's shirts featuring a silhouette of a line worker against the California sunset with palm trees. After swapping shirts, caps, stickers, glasses, and more, the line workers headed up the escalators to enjoy Kansas City barbecue and relax with their teams and loved ones before competing in the 40th year of the International Lineman's Rodeo. For 4 decades, this event has allowed line workers to safely showcase their skills, connect with their brothers and sisters in the line trade, and have their families cheer them on at the sidelines. To view photo galleries and videos from this event, make sure you visit www.tdworld.com/electric-utility-operations. Also, make sure you stay tuned to our Line Life podcast at linelife.podbean.com to hear interviews from the 2024 International Lineman's Rodeo Week. During the Rodeo Week in the T&D World booth, I had the opportunity to talk to a lot of amazing guests, and I will be airing those episodes in the near future for our Line Life podcast. Make sure you subscribe on your favorite podcasting app or at linelife.podbean.com to be notified when these episodes are available. Thank you so much for listening to the Line Life podcast.
This episode of the Line Life podcast was written, recorded, and edited by Amy Fishbach. It was produced by Jeff Postlewaite. That's me. To listen to past episodes, visit www.tdworld.com/podcasts or find us at Podbean. You can also drop us a voice memo or message at linelifepodcast@gmail.com with your comments on this episode. We'd love to hear from you. Please follow this show on Podbean or your favorite podcasting app to be updated when new episodes are released. Thank you for listening.